Welcome everybody to this video, training, motivational video, whatever you want to call it. This is a video that goes alongside my Irresistible AI Offer Black Book. This is the Black Book that you might have seen. Maybe you're opening it for the first time. This book is all about helping you to actually be successful getting clients regularly so that you can predictably feel like you are generating cash flow in your business. So if that's what you want, watch this entire video, okay? So the reality is most people, they have probably everything they need in order to actually get clients, but they still don't have any. Why is that? Well, it's because they focus on the wrong things to do each day. You need to focus on revenue producing activities that you can do each day that actually move the needle, that bring in money, not stuff that makes you feel busy. Feeling busy is very easy with AI. With AI, you can start talking to Gemini or ChatGPT and go down a rabbit hole very quickly, feeling like I'm learning something, I'm getting something done. While you might be learning something, most of the time, that is not a revenue producing activity. I'll give you an example of what a revenue producing activity is. Reaching out to business owners. If you do that and you make them offers, you could be producing revenue. If you hang out typing in questions to ChatGPT, there's no way you're going to actually get somebody to pay you. So if you focus on revenue producing activities, you will have money coming into the bank account. So if I go to my Square account for my agency, Mina Marketing, 100% working with small businesses, and I filter out for this month, we've already collected $26,000 in revenue. And this is because we have revenue producing activities going on day in and day out in the business. And I know this because I can see the numbers. If you look at our call report, outgoing call log for the last couple of days from the 11th to the 17th, we've have 112 outgoing calls. Who would we call 112 times? Small businesses. Megan on my team is now doing what I used to do. And so in the beginning, you may do this yourself through email, calls, social media, ads, whatever you can do to generate activity. I'm going to give you methods in this training. But whether it's you or somebody else, somebody needs to be doing it. And in the beginning, it's totally going to be you until you generate some cash flow. Then you can have somebody else like Megan doing it for you. I don't want you to be doing this, making these outreaches for the rest of your life. But things change pretty quickly once you actually have some clients and cash flow coming in. So this is the Black Book, right? But I have a little summary here that I want to break down for you, some core concepts that I think make a lot of sense, okay? You should feel safety in knowing what is in this Irresistible AI Offer Black Book, because everything that is in here has already been vetted. It already works. It is tried and true. It's not some stuff that was just invented to sell. This is stuff that actually works. And you do not have to invent an offer. You do not have to go to ChatGPT and ask it, what can I do to generate cash flow? Or go to Manus and ask it, how can you get me a customer? I already have these things set up for you. Proven things that you can see within the community. Other people, not just myself, are getting customers following these methods. And there are several of them. So you can pick one that you like and just focus on that one. To summarize the ability to be successful in this, it really comes down to having 3 pillars, okay? You want to make sure that you have the right people you are talking to, the right prospect. The right prospect is a lead, somebody who actually has some money that they can spend with you. There's no point in talking to somebody who is in the negative because they have no money to spend with you. You can already focus your time on somebody else, move on. So you should be focusing and prioritizing building lists and identifying people that have money. Even better, they may already be spending money in some way that you can verify. I have methods for this too. Like if you find somebody who's spending money on Google Ads, for example, they already have money. They know the concept of marketing, investing that money back into their business to make it bigger. Now, all that is required, if you have a person like that in mind, get your foot in the door, remove the risk so that they will be interested in working with you. And if you can't do that in the first attempt, then you have to be relentless and continue to follow up. Consistency and volume in this wins. Now, before you get too huffy and puffy, I don't want you to freak out and think like, I'm not telling you to call somebody 37 times on the phone over and over and over. You can be creative, and I'm going to give you some methods in this video. So stick with me here. So these 3 pillars, I want to break down some of these concepts for you. What is an FITD? A foot in the door strategy. I would say I'm arguably one of the kings online for foot in the door strategies, creating foot in the door strategies that actually work, battle testing them and making sure they work, and then teaching them to people who can replicate them and get success too. I would say that I'm the king because I have had a lot of people follow along and replicate what I have done and have success. And to me, that is the only thing that really matters. You know, if you compare that to somebody who has a new tactic every single day of the week, show me the numbers, show me the proof, show me the people that are actually using these things to work, and we can talk about that. So a foot in the door strategy is kind of a phenomenon. You can get somebody to say yes to a small thing first, so they're much more likely to say something yes to something bigger. So for example, instead of trying to sell a $1,500 a month service up front, you start out with a free audit. You start out with a free AI demo. You give them a cheap trial. You give them 2 weeks of free social media content. And then once you have the relationship, they know who you are. They're like, man, that's that guy that gave me that audit. They did a great job. They found some things that were terrible that we could improve, and they even fixed those things for me. Yeah, why not give them a shot on doing some AI search optimization for us? But you can't really get there without building trust, establishing a relationship, and delivering value. But once you do that, then you can move to a full retainer, a full systems install. You can start selling things for $2,000, $3,000 a month, $3,000 a month. I'm over-exaggerating this, but if you try to start out by selling something to somebody for $3,000 a month, they don't know you, you don't have any portfolio, you have no credibility, you're gonna have a pretty difficult time actually doing that. But if you give them a free AI audit and you present it in a way where they don't have to even talk to you or deal with you, and they're like, oh, this is valuable to me. This actually makes sense. This is for me. It's not some spammy email that went out to 3,000 people. This was created just for me. I might actually talk to this guy. That is what you were looking for. Okay. So another way to think about this is that if you have a small ask, you get a much lower resistance to somebody to say yes. Then you can have a bigger ask. It can feel more natural. You get a higher probability of somebody saying yes. It is a warming process. You warm them up. You go from being cold to warm to hot. If you go from cold and you jump to hot, you skip warm, you're not going to have any success. This is a huge reason why people fail. And then going back to my 3 pillars, right? Right prospect, somebody who has money, it's pretty self-explanatory. You need to use a foot in the door strategy that works. And then you want to create an irresistible offer with that foot in the door strategy. That is the difference in the things that I do. I show people how to create something that is irresistible with their foot in the door tactics. An irresistible offer is an offer that is so good, it's almost impossible to say no to. Of course, giving something away for free is almost always a good option. To help emphasize this, I want to give you an irresistible offer. If we were to stop in the streets right now and you saw me and I saw you, I was like, hey, how you doing? And you were like, doing pretty good. I said, hey, I'm having a really good day. What I would like to do is I would like to give you my Lamborghini, but you have to say yes. What would you say? Now, you don't even have to be a car person. You don't have to be a man. You don't have to be a woman. You can be anybody. You're going to say, first of all, you're probably going to think I'm lying. Like, what's the catch, right? Because no one would ever do this. Because we know the value of this car. We know it's in the $500,000 range. And even if you didn't know that it was that much, you knew it was more than $10, $5, $100. So you understand how high the value is in this thing. And when I offer to give it to you for free, you can't say no to that. It's irresistible. Like I said, I'm over-exaggerating this. I am trying to do that to help you to get in the mindset of what it takes to make a foot in the door strategy an irresistible offer and position it in a way to somebody where they have a hard time saying no. Okay. And then once you do those things, once you have that model figured out, which I give you in the black book, it really is a numbers game. Consistency and volume wins. And you can make those things very easy on yourself, or you can make them very difficult on yourself. And so that's what we're going to get into, kind of the meat of this. So the Irresistible AI Offer Black Book, I'm not going to read the fine print. I'm going to kind of skim through some of this stuff. I've already gone through the 3 pillars. We talked about the right prospect. You have more strategy in here for you to identify people in that way, how to qualify people. Then I get to the meat of this where I give you my foot in the door tactics. These foot in the door strategies actually work. You have the already done method, which there is a full-blown course in the AI Inner Circle learning area. You can come here, learning area. You have a full-blown course, the already done method, step-by-step training. There are, this process is what we call a liquidation method. We've already got this site built. It just needs activation. If you find people that don't have a website and they just have this new website in their hands and they just need to activate it, it's very difficult for them to say no. You get templates in WordPress, and obviously High Level has thousands of templates in any industry. And so you get the WordPress templates in here if you'd like them, or you can just go into High Level and use those. That's not what this video is about, but you have this method, right? If you get somebody to say yes to this, now you can start selling them other stuff. The AI Post and Profit. This has to do with finding people that need social media posting, giving them 2 weeks of free content. And if they like what they get for the first 2 weeks, then obviously they're going to say yes to, how can you help me do this into the future? But you can't just go around giving 2 weeks of free content to anybody. You have to find people who have 500 to 1,000 followers on social media. They have people that know who they are, like their business, probably want to hear from them. And they've posted on social media before, but they haven't in 6 months to a year. Because those people have a little audience, they know the value in posting, but now that but you can identify they haven't posted in a long time, something has happened. So if you fill that gap with 2 weeks of free content, which only takes a few minutes in your High Level account or however you want to use Manus AI to create the social media content, it's really no skin off your back to give them 2 weeks for free. Once they get the value, you can turn them into, upsell them into other stuff. The AI Trust Audit, you can use High Level's prospecting tool to run an AI Trust Audit. By the way, there's videos on every single one of these methods on my YouTube channel, okay? So this is a way to use High Level's prospecting tool to run a audit of a website. This is in the prospecting section of High Level. So if you go to your agency account, you have the prospecting section right here. You can run these beautiful reports that you can actually send to people. And so these reports are marketing collateral that you can use to get people's attention and point out that, like, hey, this business has an overall score of 44%. Well, if I send that to this business and I know that they have some money to invest and I can see that they're spending money on advertising, there's a strong probability they're going to want to fix that. And if I only send messages to people that fit this probability or this demographic, there's a high chance that, at some point somebody's going to say yes to one of these things that you're lobbing into the air. Here's another foot in the door strategy, an AI agent demo. You use High Level to crawl a business's website, build a knowledge base of their entire business, about product line, all that stuff. Buy a phone number in High Level for only $1 in their area code, and then you send them that phone number to call on their own phone so they can interact with their own AI agent that greets them with their business branding and all their information. Most business owners, when they call that and they hear their company being answering on the other side, they're going to say, holy shit, how did you do that? Can you do that for me? And you can just sell it to them. You can give it away for free. You can charge them, hey, normally I charge $2,000 to set this up. You can have it for free, just as long as you pay for the monthly maintenance of $97 a month or something like that, right? You have the remote prospecting method. You can target Upwork jobs. You go to Upwork and there are jobs that people post. They say, hey, I need an AI automation person. I need somebody to help me find my business, or get my business found in Google, get my business found in ChatGPT. Anybody that's posting a job there, you can look at their job posting and then do a little research on them. Do a little Facebook stalking on them. Go dig up their company. Go dig up their social media profile. Look for the weaknesses that they have, things that you can fix, problems you can solve. Shoot a Loom video, a screen sharing video of the things that you find, and respond to their job posting. And if you shoot a video and you respond to them, they're going to see that you have personalized this specifically for them. It's not going out to 10,000 other people. You've delivered value in advance. These people are people looking for help because they wouldn't be posting if not, so they're qualified. If you consistently do this, chances are you're going to get a paying customer. And it takes very little time, right? 5-10 minutes per person. One of these recent plays that I have been messing around with is similar to the AI Post and Profit, where you post on their social media, but you just use Pomeli, which is Google's new marketing tool, to go out there and create what's called brand DNA. So it's in Google Labs, Pomeli. Again, videos on this, but you can put in any business by their website and it'll create this brand DNA document. And this is a brand book that, normally we used to sell these things. I used to have a graphic designer create these things for $500 to $1,000 for a business. And then we would take this and we'd build business cards, we'd build logos, we'd, figure out how we were going to make their website look. So number one, you have this, which is great. But then it will also help you create campaigns that you can use based off of all that stuff. That can be posted on social media or their website. So not only are these great, beautiful things that are already using all their images and headlines and stuff, it's actually designed to bring them in customers. So this business is a custom home builder. It created a campaign to get people interested in building a new home, Renew Your Island Retreat. So it's more than just branding social media. It's a method to bring in more leads. So there's a lot of value in this. Most business owners have no idea this exists because they're not hanging out on YouTube watching the latest AI trending video topics. So you have 6 foot in the door tactics right here that you can use. They all work. If you pick one of these, which one should you pick? I recommend picking the one that you like the best. As I've gone through this, you might have seen one that you thought to yourself, like, that makes sense. I like that one. I could see myself doing this. That's the one you should go after. So once you do that, you should really just get busy. And the way that you get busy, and I said consistency wins, consistency and volume, right? So number one, you have to build a list. And all of these methods, I've given you prompts. You have prompts in the inner circle to build lists of businesses that, are running ads on Google. And if you don't, just make a post into the control room and we can send those to you, those prompts if you want. Also, you could, the very bottom of the tree, most low-hanging fruit ever is anybody that is in your phone right now that that is a business owner, that you already have a relationship with, that you've already gone to their place of business. If you reach out to that person with their brand DNA from Pomeli, somebody that you met at a dinner party last week, or somebody, your brother's wife or whatever, you're going to have a much easier time starting a conversation, building rapport with that person than, with the list. Even though building a list works, this is the easiest place. So I would start out by the first thing you need to do is make your initial list. Start out with all the people that who are business owners. Get their name, their address, their phone number, whatever their contact information is that you have. And you're going to want to set a schedule to reach out to them. And I'm going to show you how to scale this. I'm going to show you how I have other people doing this for me too. Okay. But in the beginning, it really comes down to you, right? If you're just a one-man show, you've never made $1 online before, you need to use the foot in the door strategy. You need to build a list and you need to prospect, make contact relentlessly. And so here's how you do that. Here's how you stay consistent, because in my beginning days, I felt very stressed out, nervous, and scared. There's a lot of fear in reaching out to businesses. You might feel this yourself. What do I say? How do I sell it? They're not going to like me. They're not going to trust me. They're going to know I am new at this. Let me help you quiet all those things right now. None of that matters. The worst thing that can happen to you when you reach out to somebody is they say no. Actually, that's not true. The worst thing that can happen is they can yell at you or swear at you. And if they did, you can just hang up. It doesn't matter, right? So the worst thing that can happen is maybe you have somebody who is not receptive. And in that case, you can hang up. And guess what? As soon as you hang up, or as soon as the email comes in and you read it, it's just rolls off your back. And all you need to do, if you understand that, is be consistent. And I'm giving you the 3-3-3 formula. This is not a suggestion. This is the minimum daily standard that separates people on the sidelines from actual operators. People who are in the community like, I don't know, I'm going to pull this up. Stefan, Brian, right? This is Brian. 4 days ago, I made a social media post about providing websites and immediately have 3 new clients. He's taking action. So let's take this example to what I have for you in the 3-3-3 formula. If you make every day, this is your schedule. It is a very simple, approachable, non-threatening method that you can do. And if you follow this, follow it for a month, I can guarantee you, if you follow this for a year, I can guarantee you will have a lot more clients and cash flow than you did before you started doing it, okay? So here's what you need to do. Every day, you make 3 calls. 3 calls per day. Asking somebody what you can do for them and how you can help them with their business, or giving them a foot in the door strategy. Same thing, 3 texts. Is there anything I can help you in your business with? Or giving them a foot in the door strategy. And 3 emails per day. Bonus, 3 social media comments on somebody's post. Another thing that you can do is you can go into Facebook groups in your local area. So like here in Hawaii, we have the Maui Buy and Sell, Maui Local Business Group. In Washington, they have like the Tacoma Local Contractors Group. These groups where people shop local, buy local, look for recommendations, you can also offer your content, your foot in the door strategies there. So you can make 3 posts per day in Facebook groups in your community. Here's the thing. You have to be consistent. You have to say, okay, I'm going to do this. And if you are going to do this, the best way that you can commit to this is you can go into the community right now and use the inner circle as your accountability partner and say, I'm following the 3-3-3 method. I am going to be making 3 calls, 3 emails, and 3 posts per week to this industry with this foot in the door offer. Please hold me accountable. Because when you go to somewhere and you announce that, it's hard to like go back on it. When you work from home, I can tell you as somebody who's worked from home for about 10 years, it's very easy to say, I'm going to write that presentation. I'm going to make that product. I'm going to create that course. But when I don't tell anybody about it, it's very easy to go back on it. So use the group to hold you accountable. It's one of the most valuable things about the inner circle. You know, I'm in here daily, obviously offering help and support and strategy, but the people like Brian and Amit and Savannah that are actually taking action, those are the ones that we see land clients and do deals. Now, if all you focus on is 3 calls, 3 texts, 3 emails per day, there's very little pressure. And I promise you, once you start doing this for a couple of days, you're going to ramp up from 3 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. But I know that even if you wanted to just start, do 1 call today. Tomorrow do 2. The next day do 3. You can do that too. Set yourself up for success. Write it down. I start every single day the night before. Like right now, I have a list on Post-its of all the things that I needed to do priority when I woke up this morning. So that when I leave for today, I can go to bed, I can forget about everything, put my head on the pillow, I can chill out, I can relax. But when I wake up, all I need to do is I see this right here in front of my keyboard, I pick it up, 3-3-3. 3 calls, 3 emails, 3 texts. If you have your list set up the night before, you know what foot in the door strategy you're using, There's no distractions. You don't get to open any other windows up. You don't get to open any Netflix or anything like that. You know what you need to do. So all you got to do is do it. So keep it, the path of least resistance is what you want to set yourself up in doing for success. You know, it's like, for me, one of the things that is very difficult is creating content. Creating is so difficult. It takes so much bandwidth and brain power and energy. And what I realized is the most fundamental understanding you can have in being successful in creating content is like, once you figure out how to quiet all the distractions and put them away, then you will finally have the ability to create. And if you can make that environment your everyday living, like if you only had a computer that only had Google Chrome, you know, and you blocked out all the other apps, you got a little Opal, you know, time blocking app on your computer. It was impossible to open up Netflix. It was impossible to open up Amazon, Facebook, whatever. But the only thing you could open up is your high level app where you have, let me show you. In my agency, we have the opportunity section. This is how I make it easy for myself and my other members of my team. We have an opportunity section already built out of all the people that we're going to be calling today. And so if you just had a computer, this is an extreme version, but this is the only thing that you could open on it. You wake up in the morning, you know you got the 333, you open up your computer, the only thing you do is actually do outreach. This is the main revenue producing activity that you can do, that you can have, talking to business owners. Email, calls, DM, conversating on social media, interacting on posts, comments, feeds, groups, posting. You can also walk into businesses if you want. But if you don't do any of this, if you don't do one of those things, I promise you, you'll never get a client. So the sooner you get comfortable in doing that and getting over that fear, the faster you will break through and start getting clients. And I promise you, once you get that first or that second or that third, the wins stack up. And that is where you start to get that momentum that we talk about in the 333. Distractions is the real enemy. I've already mentioned that. This is the compounding proof, right? Once you get a foot in the door, you get a win, you get a little testimonial from that business. Now you get to go on social media and you get to take a screenshot of that email, of that Google review, of that text message where they're like, wow, that really is great content. Thank you for building my website. Thank you for this. You get on social media, you talk about it, you email it, you send it out, you take a screenshot, you build a post that says, I'm working on doing this and I'm learning how to do this thing and I've created social media content for this business, and you start generating activity. And the more of those testimonials you have, the more social proof you have, the easier it is to close the next business that you talk to. You can say, yeah, you know, I've been working with 3 other roofers on their social media content in these areas, and now you'll be my 4th. They're really getting a lot of engagement or traction, or they're really liking the fact that they don't ever have to post on social media anymore. So you see how those small wins start to stack up, right? Eventually, these are really good numbers. 1 out of 4 closable prospects begin to convert. 1 out of 4 prospects, closable. They have to be closable. What is a closable prospect? Somebody who has the money to invest. They are in need of your product and service, and they are willing to invest money in marketing. If somebody has all those 3 things, those are closable people. If you find 4 people like that and you have some credibility and testimonials that you can show to people and you make 4 irresistible offers, you should close 1 of those people. Okay? So again, 3 calls per day, 3 texts per day, 3 emails per day. You could add on posting in groups, looms, like these are for the overachievers. How do we make this easy? So you build your list. This is high level, right? This is a pipeline. This is what I have set up for my team. Again, I practice what I preach. In the beginning, when I was first starting out, I'm not a natural born sales person, by the way. I really was definitely afraid of making any calls to any businesses. I found it easier to email, so I did a lot of emailing, and that worked. And this is the other thing you need to know. This is the hierarchy of what works, okay? All of the things work. Does cold email work? Yes. Do phone calls work? Yes. Does walking into a business work? 100%. Let me give you the way the methods work the best. Number one, walk into a business. Why? Because they see you and they can trust you. They can be like, okay, yeah, you seem like a straight shooter. I can shake your hand. I can look you in the eye. If you can walk into businesses and you have that kind of confidence, go do that. It's going to be your fastest way to close deals. Second fastest, phone calls or Zoom calls. Zoom calls are very, since COVID, very well received. If you can get somebody on a Zoom call, you have probably just as much, maybe even a little more probability in closing somebody than over the phone. So in person, Zoom calls and phone, second best. Third best, emails. Do emails work? Yes, but you have to do more of it. You have to find more creative ways to be successful. You have to use foot in the door strategies. If you don't use foot in the door strategies, if you don't use irresistible offers, if you send those things to people who aren't closable, you're never going to get somebody to close. So you have to have all these things in your mind. You have to factor all these things in. And if you do, much higher probability of being successful. So in person, Zoom and phone, email, social media is next, text, and that's it. All the things work. If you are a real beast, you try to do all of it. If you're not, just pick the one that you think you can do most consistently and follow what I have for you here, right? 333. Calls, texts, and emails. I know you can do text. I know you can do emails. You should be doing phone calls. And the goal is to get out of this. Think about this. If you had 3 businesses paying you $3,000 a month, you'd be making $9,000 per month. Do you think that you would be willing to take $2,000 and give it to somebody else to start making cold calls and setting appointments for you? Of course, because now you don't have to do that, and now you can focus on just showing up and doing strategy calls, showing up and doing foot in the door strategies. And so eventually, that's what I have, right? I have somebody on my team. This is my call report from Mind Marketing in high level. Oops. I practice what I preach, right? Mind Marketing, you can see this is our snapshot. If I look at last week, let's just look at Monday the 9th. Outgoing calls, 18. Not a crazy number, right? Let's look at the 10th. Outgoing calls, 20. 11th, outgoing calls, 25. But look at this. Over the entire month, outgoing calls, 183. Do you guys see how those little wins start to stack up? I don't want you to start out saying, I'm going to do 100, 200 phone calls in the next 5 days. I want you to start out doing a couple, and then come back to the group. Tell us how it went. Tell us what's going on. When you make those calls, you should be using a script. You should have ChatGPT give you a script. If you can't do it off the cuff, you can't call somebody and just be like, hey, how's it going? Create a script, read the script every single time. That will also give you confidence and strength in knowing what to say. Eventually, you won't need the script. You'll just be able to repeat it over and over. So that's what it comes down to, you guys. Being consistent, making it easy on yourself. Like I said, this is our opportunities in our pipeline. So what I would do is I would build a list, either manual, scraped, however you want to build it. I would import it here. And every day you just come in and you just open it up and you hit the call button right here. You call this number and you move down the list. And what we do is, this is our lead in, right? You can see this column is for first contact that's made. Anybody that hasn't made contact goes here. So if I'm calling this business, they pick up, I'm going to move them to this column. If they didn't pick up, I'm going to move them this column. And so every single day we are moving people, 3 people, 10 people, 20 people, 50 people. We're moving them along this pipeline of where they are at in our buying process. So if we made first contact, that's great. Then we probably just took some notes. Like on our first call, a lot of the times, we're not really trying to make a sale, right? We're just trying to find out who does their marketing. Hey, who does your marketing? Cool. I want to send you over a free website or whatever it is, whatever your outreach is. Once you have them in that first contact, then you might consider the second call, or after you send them your foot in the door strategy, scheduling a meeting. So you move them to the scheduled meeting column. You can see we have 4 scheduled meetings right now. We have 8 upsell opportunities. We have 1 AAA prospect in the pipeline. We have 7 A-level prospects in the pipeline, B, C, D. So at any point, if me or any other salesperson comes in here, we quickly know who are the high interest people that are closest to closing, right? And if you need something to do, you're going to call the leads and move them along the checklist, right? Or the pipeline stages. And so your goal each day is to just make contact, make foot in the door offers, and get people to go from being unknown to you to warming up to becoming closed. Now, I have this little dashboard that I built in here. This follows the pipeline stages that you see in high level. And I want to explain what we have ranked leads in our business as. So we have AAA prospects, A-level prospects, B-level prospects, and C-level prospects. Now, the reason we have ranked them is because we want to know at a bird's eye view, looking at our pipeline, how many businesses are ready to become paying customers. So here's the ranking method. A AAA prospect is somebody that has a budget to spend with us. They have verbally said that they're going to make a decision this month. They've seen our pitch. We've given the foot in the door strategy. They've come to a Zoom call or a phone call, and we've made them an offer. So usually AAA prospects have already had the 2 weeks of free content, and now we want to sell them something. AAA A-level prospect has had the first meeting. We've given them 2 weeks of free content. We have a follow-up meeting scheduled in 30 days. B-level prospect, they need another 30 to 60 days to close, meaning we've sent them an email. They want to get on a meeting. We haven't gotten that meeting yet. C-level prospect, another 60 to 90 days to close. So you can see now by looking at our pipeline, at any point, we have 2 people that are going to make decisions to close this month. We have 0 in the A pipeline because 1 moved to AAA. We have 1 in the B pipeline, and we have 1 in the C pipeline. Our goal throughout the month is, yes, making regular 333 calls, but eventually we want to take the C to a B, the B to an A, the A to a AAA. And how do we do that? Continuing to provide value to each one month over month. And when you set up the system in this way with a pipeline, lead scoring, this is kind of like the next tier. Once you get some cash flow coming in, this is the goal. I can show you how to do this. I can teach you guys this stuff, obviously, in the inner circle because I'm doing it myself. But this is what it looks like to have this system running for you. I don't do any cold calls anymore. I don't do any email outreach. I don't do any of that stuff. And the deals come in. And this is how I do it. I have the systems. I have the processes. I have the SOPs. I have the foot in the door tactics. And I have the methods for building the leads. We pump them in. We have somebody call them to book the appointments. We give them the foot in the door tactics. We close the deals. And then it's just about doing it every single day. Not me, somebody else on my team. In the beginning, it was me, but now it can be somebody else. And so you guys, I hope this is one of the most valuable videos, trainings that I've put together for you to go with this PDF. And the next step really is action from you. So I look forward to seeing a lot of success stories come out of taking action off this Irresistible AI Offer Black Book. And go to the group now and let us know what your plans are and to help hold you accountable.